So with all this being said, so what do you think? We should. Candidates should. What should they do when they have these interviews?
Yeah, so if you get past that step where you're taking all these tips and you're getting picked, you're getting put in the good pile instead of the trash,
Yeah.
and you actually come in for an interview.
Right. Whether it's Zoom or they bring you in.
Yeah, what we kind of look for in candidates, because we both have experience
Yep.
in interviewing candidates,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same company,
Yeah.
our last company.
Yep.
So we actually got to share that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the things that I look for in particularly is like passion. I want to see what you do outside the classroom or outside the work environment. Are you participating in meetups? Do you belong to a meetup?
Right.
Do you do side projects?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any certifications? I don't know if that's really related to outside, because a lot of times companies will want you to get that stuff.
Right.
But I think it could be one of those things that kind of stands out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I want to see stuff like that, like hackathons you participated in, projects, and that probably caters a little more to like up until senior. Like, I don't know if it holds that much weight once you're there and beyond. Like, you
Right.
turning in something with, oh, I did this passion project, a 3-month project, but I also did this. I've been working on distributed systems for
Right. Yeah.
10 years. I don't know if the like which one holds more weight. I would assume it's probably the distributed system.
Yeah,
But
and I also think that the type of interview you're going to have depends on the position that you're interviewing for. If you're entry level or you're mid level,
Right.
You're probably going to get more of an academic type interview.
Yeah.
And when you're senior level, it's more of what do you know? They
Yep.
want to know what projects you've worked on. And, they'll throw out some scenarios at you so they can see how you think. How from an architecture
Right.
perspective and things like that, and then whiteboarding.
Yeah, good old whiteboarding.
Good old whiteboarding.
Yeah.
I mean, I those are the interviews I love. The ones I hate,
See.
in fact, I went on someone, because
Yeah.
I've done it interviewing for 3 different companies already now, and I don't like to throw academic questions at somebody. I want to know how they think.
Yeah.
I want to see them do something on a whiteboard. I want to give them, an opportunity to do a table structure, of an apartment. And then based on the apartment, how they
don't give away your interview.
Well, I'm not. It's just, it could be anything. It could be a car,
right.
But how do you relate other,
Yeah.
now I'm going to start throwing other things that relate to a car or
Right.
relate to an apartment, and how do you, from a database structure, relate those other items in a table? And I want to see how you think about that.
And plenty of opportunities to get out. Like, if they mess up in one area, they can still succeed in another.
And the thing is, you're not wrong. We're just trying to see how you think.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the key things is when you can articulate and you can show, even if you muck it up, but you articulate it in the right in a way that you believe is right. Most companies, they just want to know how you think.
Right.
Yeah,
I really think communication is key.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually one of my tips that I forgot to bring up is when you're in the interview, we want to know if we can work with you, if you have a good personality.
Yep.
And that's not always true. Every place I go, there's one dev that's really good and very hard to work with or not as social.
Yeah.
But you have to have them because they move boulders.
Right. Yeah.
Instead of just a part of the team. So you have to have them, and you get one that can be a little social with you.
Right.
But I think it's like it must be a requirement, because everywhere I go, there's at least one guy and he's the guy.
Yeah.
He's the one that everybody looks at for their stuff. And not to say that, we're all kind of like that, just software engineers in particular.
Right.
But I think if you have really good communication skills and public speaking,
It helps a lot.
it can help a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and because that helps you see if you are going to be a fit for a team, because you know when obviously when a team is interviewing a candidate,
Right.
they know their team,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
know what
They'll know
meshes
if
well
you're
with their
fit.
team,
Yep.
and that's really what you know is a cusp of what you want to find out about
Right.
that person. Not the do you know the difference between abstract class and
Right.
an interface? You know, that's not going to tell
Because
you
you can
anything.
learn if you have a computer science background, or not even that, just a coding background. We
Right.
can get you up to speed.
Exactly.
But will you fit in with the dynamic?
Right,
Yeah.
right, and you know, and it's funny you brought that up because I remember Drew, you know,
And I think that's a really good point. Is we are not expecting you to ace the interview. If you ace the interview, any interview, you should take it up a notch and go to another company. Like
Yeah.
you shouldn't be acing these interviews. So nobody's getting 100% correct. And I think what some people think is you have to. It's like a test. You have to get 100%. And right when they're wrong on something and they know they're wrong, that eats them up.
Right.
Through the whole, and it just affects the whole interview because they're flustered and it's like, And what I like to do to
It's not a good time. The market, you know, at least in our area, is flooded with applicants for positions. If you go out and you look at all these job sites in our area, you know, we're fortunate that we're not out there, and you know, if we can help you guys in any kind of way to help you stand
were
out
there.
Well, I was, yes,
You were right in the
I was
middle
in the
of
mix,
it.
you know,
So,
and I was able to quickly, you know, find something, you know, within a matter of a week or two, I was already in 3 interviews.
And I've heard that story repeated several times. Is that if you have talent and you know and you follow some of these tips that we gave you today, you're landing from 48 hours to like 72. Like there's there are definitely companies hiring.
Right. And also your friends that you've networked with and have had, you know, previous employment with, those are good. Those are good people to reach out to. You know, not every company is affected as bad as other companies when it comes to a pandemic. You know, so there may be opportunities there that someone you've worked with before, you know, can help you get into wherever they're at. So
don't be afraid to reach out to people you've connected with along your route. I mean, the worst thing they can say is no. I mean, there's not really any downfall to asking, and that's why it's important to form relationships like the one you and I have, you know. Just, I mean, because you never know when someone may be looking and trying to get somewhere else. And just to have people from all different locations and places definitely helps.
And know your worth too. I mean, as a developer, you know, I know during this time companies are giving discounts to other companies, you know.
Oh yeah, so this is good,
you know, you have to know your worth and stand by your worth whenever it comes to salary and things like that. You know.
So how did you feel about that?